urban legends. The podcast about urban legends. And he's your host, that's right, Neil Chris Hutler. Hello and welcome to this new episode of Urban Legend. Fuck me, hurt me, ow. Lovely stuff. This is, of course, the podcast about all the hottest urban legends. I am ex-amateur boxing champion and confusing ladies man, Chris Flynn. And with me, as always, is former SPIV during the Second World War, owner of an import-export company and a second-hand car lot. It is my boss, Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Hey, Neil.
You know I don't like SPIV.
That's right. Is there any? Do you need me to
honest,
do any?
Honest trader. That's all I am.
That's it. Fell off the back of a lorry. Who's to say? Is there any?
Do I need you to do anything?
Is there any hard man work you need me to do?
Is that suitcase goods been sold down the market, Chris? Get into it after this podcast, I should.
Get into it. I've got to go to the gentleman's club. Got to go to the Windsor first for a pint and talk to a bird, and then
take it there. See if you can palm a few off down there.
Yeah, I'll take it down to Windsor.
Yeah. A few marks down there.
There's a few marks down there. I'll take it in the Cortina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, no refunds.
No refunds. Of course not.
So you get it to cheap. Take your chances.
Exactly. High risk, high rewards.
Yeah.
So, how have you been this week, Neil? How's the used car salesman job going? Getting them off the lot, hot off the lot.
Tough racket, but we thrive as ever.
Yeah. Even during
hard work, elbow grease. Even during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Or a world war didn't put me off.
No, you of course got out
of the state of the cars we were selling back then.
Because you got a doctor to forge a note saying that you had fallen arches, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't want to go fighting. Fair enough. Just stay behind, sell silk stockings, that kind of thing.
Serve my country better.
Yeah.
We want business acumen.
Yeah,
I'm trying to shoot at Nazis.
Yeah, digging through the rubble of destroyed houses and getting tin to spam to go and sell on the back market, that kind of thing.
You see what spam would go for. Ooh.
Yeah, fantastic times. So have you been up to much this week, Neil? Apart from your car dealerships, we're in a cold snap at the moment, aren't we? How's your palatial villa holding out? Because your large front room / kitchen unit, I would imagine, is quite difficult to heat. Do you have central heating or is it storage heaters?
It's a mug's game. I mean, for that new style heating now, what are they calling it? Where you're the heat pumps? Sort of trialing out.
Scandinavian heat pumps.
Yeah,
one in every room.
Yes, yeah. Keep it nice and tasty.
Yeah,
but no, we're. I've got a load of salt in the back garden at the moment because I've obviously cornered the market in salt sale. They want to spackle the roads so people don't slip over. They'll come to me. This is where they want to buy it.
Bought it all up.
Yeah, bought it all up.
And if you couldn't buy it, you sent me round with some water to dissolve it.
Yeah,
classic Neil Herbert tactic. Cornering the market by fair means, or
don't make the rules. Just play by them.
Just exploit them. Exploit the loopholes. Lovely. That's good to hear, Neil. So I believe this week we are looking at an urban legend which is based around a song which every man is contractually obliged to sing at karaoke once they turn 65. Is that true?
It's one of the classics. Old Blue Eyes himself. Yeah, this is the urban myth around the My Way killings, as they're called in the Philippines. Yep.
Ooh.
So there's some belief out in the Philippines that the song "My Way" it might be cursed.
Really?
For karaoke singers, yeah. We'll see. Unlike some of your run of the mill, Jersey Devils or any of that tut, we've got some strong facts here. There's some real gunplay. It does get answered, and right, yeah, so it's the curse of My Way, the My Way killings, however you want to put it on. So I'm going to give you it's a news source here, PhilippineLifestyle.com. So it's from the news section by an Andrew Martin, dated December 31st, 2017. The My Way curse strikes again as singer gunned down in Tondo, Manila.
Oh,
there you go. So what I want to point out, because
spookiness.
Yeah, that's it. Wrap it up. Right, so I'm going to point out there, so we've got a curse.
Never thought Merlin's Oak would be too fact heavy.
It's a proper death. No, this is an action. Come on.
Come on, then.
We've just started. We've already got a shooting. Look, so singing My Way has again proved a dangerous choice in the Philippines with a fatal shooting in Manila.
Right.
A barangay chairman was gunned down after making the fateful decision to sing the Frank Sinatra classic at a Christmas party in Tondo. Video brought... And
you'd have no one in upper or middle management left in the UK if this makes it over here.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's never been not one of my favourite songs. My Way. It's got a nice tune, but
you always get if there's karaoke in a pub, there'll always be an old bloke singing it. It's kind of anthem, isn't it? I did it my way. Yeah.
Hey, that's a no one. Yeah, when we get onto the possible explanations, we'll explore the kind of possible connotations of the song at that point. And I'll just note there's a picture of this chap. He's got a rather fetching blonde bob wig on, having a bit of fun at the Christmas party, by the look of it, or whatever the equivalent is. And shortly before he got gunned down, sadly. Anyway,
it's quite Catholic, isn't it? Philippines, so it would be Christmas.
Yeah, one would imagine. So. Video broadcast shows him dancing around wearing a blonde wig before deciding to sing the deadly song. And he joked to the danger, Chris.
Oh, I hope no one shoots me. Famous last
Moments
words.
later, here you go. Let's see if you can spot the pun here. Moments later, the final curtain came as two men on a motorcycle arrived and called his name. As soon as he glanced at the assassins, he was gunned down. Emmy Roke, a friend of the victim, said, "We heard 3 gunshots, then we hid. Then someone shouted, 'See chairman,' and another victim was also shot. So Reyes died on the spot, and the other victim, an unidentified boy, remains in a critical condition at hospital."
Unidentified boy?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Can we bother to identify
the lad? Yeah, it's obviously went too bothered. It's a shot kid that maybe seems to have claimed him, or whatever. when he's what it is. So nobody knows exactly how many people have been shot by singing My Way in the Philippines, but there's been enough to merit a separate category of crime known as My Way killings.
Fucking hell.
So another example was reported by GMA News in August 2014 under the headline...
Is this just because it's a really... karaoke is really popular and it's a really popular karaoke song?
So we'll get into explanations after we... Let's get some of the...
Sorry, Neil.
Let's get some of the...
You know what my brain's like? It's always working at 100 miles an hour. I can't help it.
Good question, but we won't get into the why until we've done the what.
I can't help it, Neil. I'm an analyst.
So 2014, under the headline "My Way Strikes Again," one man was killed, another was stabbed in Legazpi City. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Zippy City.
After arguing, Legazpi City. I'm not going to.
That's fine.
I'm trying to pronounce it. LGAZPI. Legazpi. I'm not sure. Anyway. After arguing over who should get to sing the song, the report noted, while a beloved classic, many karaoke and videoke patrons dare not touch My Way, which seems to be linked to a number of killings in bars across Philippines over the years. And there seems to be, they distinguish between karaoke and videoke. I don't know if that just means they film you or, whatever. So nobody knows why choosing to sing the song so often proves fatal. Some maintain, simply statistics, so widely sung it stands to reason it's more likely to feature when videoke and murder collide. Others say something in the nature of song projects a confrontational arrogance. And I'll get into... So basically...
because you're singing it's my way, I did it my way, then it's considered arrogant and someone comes and stabs you up.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. And I was kind of like
fucking tetchy, aren't they?
Well, because then I'm going to jump to another source, because, it seems pretty...
Well, they've got pretty short fuses.
in Manila, apparently.
You say what?
So let me give you some other stories around this. So 2018, a 61-year-old man was killed by his neighbour at a birthday party in Zamboanga del Norte in the Philippines. The karaoke drinking session turned into a...
Del Monte's sexy younger brother.
Man from Zamboanga del Norte. Yeah, because, I mean, the man from Del Monte probably is about 70 now, isn't he? So it's a karaoke drinking session. So I'd like to have a few bevies and, sing a song.
Hey, what's the harm, man? Loosen up.
Well, what is the harm? Go and play Will Gals, of course. That's the harm.
If everyone's got really short fucking fuses and carries knives.
Yeah. So first turned into a fist fight, fair enough, when Jose Buzamon, a senior citizen, grabbed the microphone from Rolando Canesco when he was about to sing Frank Sinatra's song My Way. Other guests were about to separate the two, but this only gave time for Canesco to grab a knife and stab Buzamon in the chest. The latter was declared dead on arrival by doctors. Not the first time someone's been killed for Sinatra's tune.
Was there anything in the background of these two? Like, did they not like each other anyway, or was there some festering?
Just seems to have flared up over the karaoke. And for between 2002 and 2018, more than a dozen people have lost their lives to this supposed curse.
Right.
I'm trying to look through because there was
But of course, over 25 have died during "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls on karaoke. So,
that is true. Actually, there was, mind you, 24 of those were gunned down by that one madman who was obsessed with.
24 of those were suicides.
Yeah. So again, Chris, we're going to pull out just some more of the examples before we get too much more into the
statistics.
Into why these things are happening. Yeah, into the potential theories. So going now to Esquire Mag, I think this is the Filipino edition. So it's esquiremag.ph.
You were asked to be on the cover of Esquire the other week, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't fancy it. It's a bit low rent these days, isn't it?
Yeah, rubbish.
I mean, I'd star in any of the old days. GQ loaded.
Zoo.
I mean, the 90s were the 90s. Yeah, so nuts. Prick. Cock and balls. Yeah, the 90s were a strange time.
Flat grannies. Mayfair. Star. Sport.
Gallagher's ring piece.
You were quite the famous page three girl for a while, weren't you? That's where we met, actually, when I was doing the green room at a car show.
Well, I did marry a Premiership footballer, so
yeah,
that's very much the dream.
And how's it going with you and Phil Babb?
Well, I don't like to talk about it.
No, it's not going well.
Yeah, every day's a new struggle. Let's put it like that.
Every day's a waking nightmare.
Right. So this is why they're saying in the Philippines, karaoke is king.
Ooh.
Their bars are equipped with 10 or so karaoke bars, each of which is alive until well into the early morning. But it's not complete without alcohol. And when you add a couple of drunken, off-tune Filipinos to the mix, odds are someone's bound to get hurt.
What? What do you mean?
And in the case of the My Way killing, some might end up dead. See, Filipinos love to sing, and most of us can sing. We know a good tune when we hear one. And the greatest faux pas a Filipino can commit is singing off key. It's unforgivable and apparently worthy of death.
Fucking hell.
So, I mean, either because the thing is, I was looking at this and they do say, there's a reasonably there's a bit of a high crime rate in the Philippines. It's quite a lot. But I was looking at the stats on murder and sort of violent crime. They weren't. I mean, for the region, they're higher than a lot of other places like Malaysia and stuff. But actually, you compare it to sort of American parts of Europe, they're not. It's not like 10 times. It's like 1.5 times the rate.
Yeah, but then I guess that there was also the police force are incredibly crooked and do hired killings and stuff. So you've got to wonder about reporting.
I mean, who knows? But yeah. So, but anyway, apparently, either it's very violent.
But I mean, America. But you say compared to America and stuff. But I consider the crime rate in America to be like in American
high
cities
compared to parts of Europe. Yeah,
it's high compared to the whole. Like an American city will have more murders in than the whole of the UK. And considering we've got nearly 70 million people here, which is more than a quarter of the population of the whole of America. The crime rate is pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah, I didn't compare the UK-US stats, but yeah, no, they're definitely higher per capita. But anyway, I was just trying to get a bit of a sort of a blend of, because if it had been massively, massively higher, but again, as you say, who knows in terms of reporting?
Yeah,
don't know. You just look at the stats that are available, and just most of the sort of yeah, I know. Just from my own experience, sort of meeting sort of Filipino people, and my dad worked in the Philippines for a while. He was doing where he was working. They did some sort of outsourcing and stuff. But yeah, he it didn't feel like a kind of like dangerous country. He really liked it. So who knows?
Did you ever go?
No. I'd been to Malaysia, went to Singapore and Penang.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, no, he did. He basically, where he was working, I think they were just going to try and outsource a load of the operations into the Philippines. But I know, he's some chap who ended up working for the UN, who he was really good friends with, called Doi. But yeah, no, he really enjoyed the country and enjoyed working with the people out there. So, anyway,
again, I think it kind of depends. There'll be areas and areas. There'll be much less crime
there's gangs and crime in Manila and stuff,
in the slums and that kind of stuff as well.
Exactly.
Like the favelas.
Yeah.
And, you can be pretty. I'd imagine you're pretty safe as a tourist in Rio, but if you go into high crime rate favelas and stuff, then you're going to be less safe. So I think that's
absolutely
same with most cities, isn't it?
No, absolutely. There's areas of London you wouldn't want to go around at 2:00 in the morning or what have you,
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
know where you're going,
Yeah. I'm reasonably confident in the streets.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? It's kind of like anyway.
No, of my own country. I'd add to that.
yeah. No, absolutely. I think it was, respect the local knowledge wherever you're going, and adhere to their advice. But so it could be that there's a bit more violence in the Philippines. But I'm not sure that's there's some gangs and things. Although there seems to be obviously the first one that I read out that does look like some kind of gang inflicted thing. It says family denied there was any kind of trace to drugs, but the fact that people pulled up on a motorcycle and shot him there, then that looks like a hit. But these other ones, it just feels more like violence, and I can't decide, especially from obviously this chap writing. For sort of Filipino edition of Esquire, I don't know whether it's just kind of like a Simon Cowell thing, just taken to the next level, where they're really critical. So, and that honestly, that would make that show much more fucking entertaining. So I'll give you an example. Say, 2007.
It'd make it horrific, Neil. It's like that Black Mirror episode. If people actually, Simon Cowell got up and shanked someone if they were off key.
I think I'm just not.
What kind of horror world do you want to live in? That'd be much worse.
One where Simon Cowell could apparently just become like Judge Dredd based on whether or not someone's a bit pitchy. I mean, okay, so let's take this for an example, Chris.
Yes.
2007, a karaoke bar security guard shot a 29-year-old man singing "My Way" in San Mateo, Rizal. Apparently, the young man was off key. And when he wouldn't stop singing, the guard lost his shit, pulled out a .38, shot him dead.
They've got really
harsh criticism.
They've got fucking low tolerance, haven't they?
Yeah.
For off-key singing.
What it doesn't explain in any of these articles is what happened to the people. Well, no, A, why, yeah. But B, I assume they went to jail for...
No, they give them...
They just gave the police $50.
Yeah, probably.
Fair enough.
Probably there was a whip round. Everyone gave him a round of applause for shooting him. There was a whip round and they bunged off.
They pulled up the video and then they're like,
fair enough. Yeah.
Is he that off key? Fuck. I'm buying you a pint, mate.
They pulled out the video in court, and as the guy was singing, the judge pulled out a gun and started shooting at the video recorder. Case dismissed.
He turns around and says to the family, "You get 10 seconds to start running."
Yeah. You brought him into the world.
There's bullets going around where you are in 10 seconds' time. Where you want to be is up to you. So that's just one incident from the many that took place. So yeah, it does seem like like there's some insane violence going on in these karaoke bars. So just one incident for the many that took place in 10 years. String of killings that shock society. So there you go. It does sound like it's out of the ordinary. And some bar owners remove the song from the jukebox or the video key machine. Some won't even sing the song in public, and if they do want to sing it, they get a private room at a karaoke bar, so nobody would be triggered by watching vocals. I mean, I've got to confess that I feel a bit self-conscious about singing in public. I've not got a very good voice, so it's anxiety-laden enough without thinking that somebody might pull out a 38 and gun me down. But karaoke is supposed to be a fun activity. And I think this just reinforces my belief that buying a private room for karaoke is better. That's how I'd normally do it.
I've obviously got used to singing in public, and I don't have a very good voice, but I don't care.
But you practiced at it, and you can sing in key, can't you? You can sing
I'm thinking of going to Manila and going, I did it my way.
I mean, you're pretty much asking for a death sentence there by the sounds of things.
See what happens.
And it's cool, and you'll note from that.
Would they be willing to risk an international incident?
Do you think that they wait for the whole kind of like, and now the end is near, I face the final curtain? And it's like, yeah, damn right you do. But
yeah.
Do you think they punctuate that bit with a bullet?
Well, that'd be too early in the song, wouldn't it?
It's got the irony, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, you might not properly be able to judge whether or not they're true.
That's basically talking that beginning bit.
Yeah.
Unless they're like, now the end is near.
You reckon it's at the end where he starts doing a bit more, kind of like giving it a bit more gusto in the...
Yeah, it'd be like, my way.
Oh, good. Sorry, did I say a good voice? Maybe not. I'll tell you what, we're going to get hunted down by some angry Filipino gentlemen.
Filipino expats.
Yeah.
Well, we have, of course, had 2 listens from the Philippines, haven't we?
Yeah.
So maybe
Quezon City, I think it was. So please don't be angry with us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We mean no harm in our bad singing of My Way. So the killings have flummoxed the world. Questions begin floating in the air. Is it Filipino machismo at work? Is it the song inherently sinister?
Machismo.
The Filipinos really suck that bad at singing? The last question is no, because they're good apparently. No, and apparently, this is like, it's quite a hard knock life in the Philippines. Money's not great for jobs, and heavy drinking and going and having a sing-song is like, it's cheap. And,
Philippines tend to be nice people and stuff.
Absolutely.
Considering who's in charge and considering their pretty shit history of being constantly invaded by Spain and France and then America, right? They've the people there are good people, right? They seem to be getting on with it, but under very difficult circumstances, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do kind of meet Filipinos in Europe and stuff, kind of just come over and a bit of money, and then sort of. You remember we met that chap in the Greek hostel?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a good lad. He was making his way around sort of Europe, working in Greece, and then take the money back.
Pocket Rambo.
So, yes, well, Pocket Rambo is the owner of the establishment. Yes. We should just
we'll talk about him another time.
Yeah, I think we'll come on to him later. But yeah, no, we met a very nice Filipino gentleman over there. It was an interesting tales. So it's hard, and it makes sense. Karaoke only about 5 people's song, so it's about 10p to
murder a song.
Do a bit of a karaoke. So it's it's a nice little bit of escape, and it's always followed up with a bit of booze. So that's a bit of drunk karaoke singing. That's what you want. You would think actually that the drink would mitigate some of the bad singing, because I'll be honest with you, I sometimes get the bus down from, there's a bar where they sing. I don't know if they're supposed to be, I'm pretty sure it's karaoke, because if they're professional entertainers, they're not very good singers.
Right.
And they were doing a version of Creep when I was on the bus home on Friday night. And
From where?
This is, what's it called? What's that pub that only serves Albion supporters? Well, it's next to the Grand Central. It's called the Railway Bell or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right by Brighton Station.
Yeah, Railway Bell.
So you'll sit at a bus stop, and you'll meet quite a few characters on the pavement going out and having a smoke.
Plenty of times, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a decent enough place.
I mean, I'm not.
It used to be a bit funny.
It doesn't only. I mean, I'm not an Albion supporter, and I've drunk in there before.
Oh no, it's match days, isn't it? They won't
but that's anywhere around the station.
You've got. I know. Yeah, so they don't get trouble, I assume.
Yeah.
You've of course worked in bars around the Brighton Station area in years gone by, but have some tales around, angry supporters on both sides. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, to be honest with you. When a bunch of
no, me neither.
People want to get funny about.
I think a good,
like football, not interested in all that.
I think a good rule of thumb for anyone listening is you should stop supporting a sports team really, really seriously once you're older than all of their players. I think at that point you kind of just take it as a bit of distraction and something a bit fun, but you shouldn't base your life around it. Once you're older than their oldest player.
Definitely that. I mean, I would argue once you hit your 20s, really. But
and once you're older than their manager, you should stop supporting football.
Or just not take it quite seriously. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about sport. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's the most important thing in your life, I don't know. But each to their own. I'm sure it's much like karaoke in the Philippines, Chris. As long as no harm comes of it, then there's nothing wrong with it as a nice form of escape.
Do you reckon people killing each other up over karaoke songs is their version of like football firms and that kind of like football hooliganism? Go out for a bit of a tear up, and if someone sings "My Way," there's like a little nod and a wink that they're up for a tear up too.
Yeah. Lay into this.
Yeah.
So you get a bit cocky, and you don't know what you've not got nothing to back up what you're bringing to the table. Then,
well, you think you've had your drinks, and you're feeling really angry, and you sickle "My Way" as a kind of red rag to a bull. So that someone comes at you with a knife or whatever, and you can have a nice little tear up. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's like their like the secret things, like the football fans who.
It's just stress relief, isn't it?
Stress relief.
Just stress relief, And if it escalates into gun violence, well, there you go.
Well, sometimes
can't live forever.
It only tells us about the murders. I mean, there could be like 180,000 fights to My Way, and only 12 people have died a year.
You're only getting the tip of the iceberg here.
Exactly. That could be it. Bored young men, disenfranchised.
The Sinatra Wars.
The Sinatra firms.
He's dressed up as a 40s era Sinatra, and the other one's dressed up as a 50s era. I pretty much think he was always in the suit. He was always in the suit and hat, yeah.
Maybe some of them dress up as Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah. Maybe that was it. Yeah, or somebody's really kicking off. He comes in an Elvis jumpsuit.
Yeah. He's
come into this bar, he's got a suit on and trainers, right?
I'm trying to think what other big karaoke, like Suspicious Minds is a big karaoke song, isn't it? That's
it's like any of those. I mean, there's loads, isn't there? I mean, there's probably loads, isn't there? I mean, kind of like, again, these guys
Angels by Robbie Williams. Over 10,000 people have died singing that.
Do you recall?
I want that played at my funeral, Neil.
Do you remember we went to that pub in Port Slade and the guy proposed marriage over I think that was Angels he was singing, wasn't it?
Oh, did he propose marriage?
Yeah, well, he went up on the karaoke mic. I mean, this is what happens in Port Slade. We don't shoot each other.
No.
Somebody instead gets up and proposes marriage to
the only thing I really remember about that was the really sort of seedy bloke singing. You're 16 and you're mad.
Oh God, yeah, one of those very, very songs that has not aged well. Yeah, that was he was probably living a few memories.
Saxophones for little girls, big eye every day.
Yeah, then a bit of Chuck Berry and
back in the non-scene 50s.
Jerry Lee Lewis to follow. But yeah, then a chap sort of looked very nervous, and then we realised why when he sort of came up to the mic and proposed marriage, and then sang. I'm pretty sure it was Angels, but anyway.
That was after we recorded an EP, wasn't it?
We just
down at the docks.
Yeah, by Shoreham Harbour. Yeah.
Yep.
Not that many great pubs in Port Slade, to be honest.
We picked you up because you were selling your wares on the dockside to the Russian sailors, as always.
Absolutely,
40 bucks for you, money. Darling.
Always looking out for the opportunity.
Well, why not? Respect the grift.
Exactly. You know where that comes from. So Sinatra's lyrics apparently don't help the situation. So,
oh no.
So they've got a Filipino chap who explains, the song's triumphalist nature may have a hand in triggering violence. Because there's a look at the lyrics, reveals a side of Sinatra that's unapologetic and borderline arrogant. And I read this somewhere else, actually. Apparently, Sinatra wasn't a particularly big fan of the song. He was just kind of like, well, it's just like an anchor song. Yeah. It's not really mine. because Paul Anka, his mate, wrote it for him based on like a French pop song melody. But yeah, he found the song self-serving and self-indulgent. He didn't like it, but the song stuck and he couldn't get it off his shoe.
Well, I mean, you say that, but you can just, I mean, people like to hear it, but you can just refuse to sing it.
You could refuse to sing it, but I guess he just, he felt like he was an entertainer. I don't know. And anyway, it was making the mafia some of that sweet cash.
It's probably the mob said, you gotta do it.
I just imagine like scene in The Godfather where he's like, I can't be singing it anymore. And then just like Marlon Brando comes up, slaps him around the chops and goes, fucking crying in front of me. That's my terrible Godfather impression.
That's brilliant.
You're in front of me, and I've got men to do. This is getting worse, steadily. Get out there and sing my way.
I
don't know what that was.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
there you go. It's me channeling a bit of Brando. I'll next week we'll see how I go. Try and do a bit of Apocalypse Now. It's been a darkened room, just pouring water over my shaved head, philosophising, reading out of Nietzsche or something.
Usual Sunday.
Yeah, or Sunday as I call it. Yeah. The purifying, as I call it. Some people like, CBT. That's how I roll. So some would say it's a bit arrogant. Some would say that it's just, somebody just trying to come to terms.
A lot of songs are arrogant, though. That's kind of...
Well, it's one of those things. It's a bit like, I think someone put it really well, where they said, Muhammad Ali wasn't arrogant. He was just good. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things, isn't it? If you can pull it off, you can pull it off. If you can't, you shouldn't try. So, I don't know.
There's arrogance and confidence.
Well, exactly. That's my point.
But songs, people singing songs from a...
But you singing a song, the lyrics are the lyrics at the end of the day, so people shouldn't really imply that, you're out there like giving it the big I am. But I guess it's
why did you choose it, Neil? Because you're giving it the big you are, that's why.
Exactly.
Don't make me turn up on my Vespa with a submachine gun. Who's this? Who does he think it? Where are we going to go? I don't know. We'll, let's pop home from it. Did you hear that? Right. Get your gun out.
Hang on a minute. Wait for it. I don't like the arrogance, but let's see whether or not he's pitchy.
let's see if he's earned it.
Look, you called that vibrato.
You slag.
He stayed in pitch, but that use of vibrato was fucking shocking, atrocious. I'm having one of them legs. So, at least 6 people have been killed. So, but,
12. But it's a 12 a year.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it's been 12 since 2008. So I was reading just looking up from another source, but you're right. It was 12 between 2002 and 2018. At least 12 have been killed.
Still not many, is it?
I mean, but I think there's not like
one a year.
It sounds like there's lots of karaoke. There aren't lots of karaoke deaths. There's probably a bit of violence. There's probably a bit of chin music and fisticuffs going on. But want to bring guns to the party? I don't know.
I mean, how many people?
But it does seem Filipinos are very keen on their singing, and they don't like people either hogging the bar or singing out of tune or trying to bite off more than they can chew. They do, though. I've got a website here that's the Phil Urban Legends blog spot, where they're just looking at where it happens elsewhere. So saying, they don't think there's a curse. That they put it down to sort of like Filipino machismo and the inability to tolerate bad musicianship.
I think also I just want to chuck in here. I wasn't sure of the population of Manila because a lot of cities in Southeast Asia have a massively high population.
Yeah.
But Manila's under 2 million people, so it's not like it's not like a mega city or something.
No, I don't know how big that is, obviously, but yeah, it doesn't sound like it. So, yeah, I mean, as this chap puts it, people who are hardly drunk start to lose patience. They become more sensitive of the feelings. They start to have violent attitudes. They become brave, which gives them the ability to kill without horror. I'd argue that's not bravery, but you do you.
Psychotic.
Yeah, that's more sociopathy, but there we go. Anyway, so that's his kind of explanation, is that, as you become brave, you're quite happy to gun people down for singing.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't like.
Feeling a bit brave today.
Yeah. But it's not just in the Philippines. So there are some other examples, and I'm just going to go and look up on the wiki page. Karaoke rage in other countries.
Well, I can kind of understand. I've been to karaoke places a lot, and I went through a phase of going to quite a lot, going out drinking during the day and going to karaoke places because it's quite a laugh. But I mean, it is irritating when someone's really, really bad, but you've just kind of got to let them get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't kill them.
It's quite a yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's a spectrum, and there's quite a big gap between maybe heckle and gun down the head, or try and knife to death.
Use your words.
That feels, maybe just turn off the karaoke machine. It's just a thought.
Or go outside until they're finished. Go and have a smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just don't let yourself get angry about it. Remove yourself from the source of confrontation. So let's look through some other karaoke rages in some other countries and see how they compare. So August 2007, a karaoke singer in Seattle, Washington, America, was attacked by a woman who wanted him to stop singing Coldplay's Yellow. I mean, that sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Absolutely fine.
I would hope it was Chris Martin, to be honest with you, because. I mean, in fairness, you did turn up to a concert. You did come to a Coldplay gig, so you should have expected this. But I'll be honest with you, you're within the rights, madam.
I thought I could put up with it.
Yeah. I tried.
Don't know what.
The screechy voice came out and I just couldn't take it anymore. And then in March 2008, a man was arrested in Thailand for shooting to death 8 people, including his brother-in-law, in a dispute stemming from several karaoke offerings, including repeated renditions of John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads. 8 people, fucking hell. He's taking the prize for most over-the-top reaction. Don't fuck around in Thailand, do you?
But there was how many? Take me home, country road.
I just assumed it was the 10th time, and he was like, I told you.
I'll tell you what, he would have hated a gig I went to once. There was a charity gig put on, and it was the guy really liked the Ramones, so the bands were meant to do Ramones covers. And what's that? Oh, jeez, what's that song? Oh, I Want to Be Sedated. Every single band did that, obviously, because that's what everyone knows. So there was like 5 bands, and they all pretty much did the same songs, pretty much the same way as well. It was like that guy would have hated it there. They didn't do. The bands didn't do a thing where they said, "Right, we'll do these songs, you do these songs," or whatever. Because they just all did the same songs. 5 times. It was not a great gig.
Yeah, no, that's just, oh dear. I mean, at least if you're going to do that, like, I'm going to do my country version, or, this is my, smooth jazz version or something. Just do 3-chord pop version. Bit of distorted guitar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I mean, I think we need these anti-heroes to come and save us from this kind of bad karaoke offering, clearly. In December 2008, a man at a Malaysia coffee shop hogged the karaoke microphone so long he was stabbed to death by other patrons, plural.
Oh, right.
It was what do they call it? A
sympathy for Miss Lady Vengeance kind of thing.
Yeah. I was thinking Murder on the Orient Express, where just, multiple implicated in the crime just because it was so horrific.
If we all do it, they can't arrest us all.
No.
I mean,
it's one way to teach people manners, I suppose.
Yeah. Won't be doing that again because he's dead. And anyone watching will know not to hog the microphone.
It's mostly people being killed for karaoke etiquette. Yeah, the next one is, in China there was a man killed 2 others with a meat cleaver. I believe I read something about this before, where
but you've got to think.
This was someone slagging off the performance, so he, as you would, to defend the honour of his brother-in-law, run next door, got a meat cleaver, and
I mean, how many? I mean, karaoke is it's most popular in East Asia, isn't it? Really, you'd say.
Well, it largely stems from Japan, isn't it?
Well, that's where it comes
Genesis.
from.
Yeah. I mean, and the word karaoke, obviously. Yeah.
But it's big in East Asia, Southeast Asia.
Salarymen going out having a few sakis, and
so you would. So I mean, probably a third of the world's population live in that kind of area. So it's not surprising that you get an occasional, and if karaoke is a big way to let off steam, it's not surprising you're getting a few killings at karaoke.
You know what, Chris? I'm willing to bet the amount of Japan killings over karaoke has been 0.
I'm willing to bet that there are more.
Manners are good.
I reckon there are more killings in the UK at National Trust houses every year than there are karaoke murders in Japan.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. You know how we get about, grey listed buildings.
Don't touch the head, maids!
Oh, you call that a sympathetic restoration, do you? Out with a 38 through the eyes.
You said in the brochure this all was Jacobean. The brickwork's Elizabethan. That kind of thing.
Clearly, this was before the Union. Actually, no, the Union was years after James I, wasn't it? I could shoot myself now.
There you go. It's just podcast.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules now. You signed up for the UK social contracts.
I'll be very much the Wesley Willis of this, the podcast world, or whatever, or Dan Ellis, or whatever. He was one of those, what do they call them, outsider artists in New York.
Oh, okay.
You should go and listen to some of his tunes sometime. It's interesting, shall we say.
Right, I'll put that in a maybe pile.
Get any smaller? I'm going to rename that the Neil Suggestions pile fairly soon. I've got to at least sponsor a wing of that pile. It's mostly things I've suggested. Okay, so, I mean that's basically it, to be honest with you, Chris. I mean, we don't know.
What the theories around it, particularly the My Way part of it.
Well, some believe it could be a curse.
Is it a statistical anomaly, or is it fairly easily explained?
I mean, the thing is, there are a lot of other popular. There's no other popular song that it can't be easily explained because,
Is it the most popular song? No.
No, it's not the most popular song. There are other very popular songs.
So it just sounds like the fact that it seems.
I don't have the stats on karaoke violence.
You need to get the stats.
Yeah.
You need to get the stats.
The data just isn't there. This is the problem, people. Can't do the analysis if you don't have the data. I can't make bricks without straw.
How can we do it, Neil? Yeah. I mean, it sounds like basically self-aggrandizing is pretty poor form. And if it's someone you already think someone's a prick, you've had a few drinks, then they start going, "Oh, look at me," and also singing it really badly. Then people's tempers fray quite a lot. That's what it seems to be.
It's pretty brutal, though, isn't it? I mean, a security guard pulling that gun and just blowing away one of the patrons because he was singing off key.
But again, we don't know any of the backstories. I mean, that guy could have been like riding the security guards back all night, throwing money in his face, or groping the women there. We don't know anything about the stories. All we've got is the statistics we have. We don't have enough backstory on it to be able to conclusively prove anything.
But, could be a curse. The thing is, I'll tell you this much: I won't be singing My Way in the Philippines anytime soon.
I will, as soon as I get there, as soon as I touch down.
Yeah. I'm going to learn Tagalog for Not With Him.
Hey, man, I can hold a note, so I should be all right. And it's not a difficult song either.
And you'll have it.
Well,
I'm standing behind the gentleman with the gun.
The ultimate test of my singing ability, isn't it? Survive Manila.
I'm not sure you want to put it quite on that far on the line. But there we go.
I don't mind.
The Thriller in Manila.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to that. We'll let you all know how that gets on.
The albino gorilla in Manila.
I think that's it, isn't it? You've got to put it to the
vanilla gorilla in Manila. That's it. There it ends. Of course, because I've been called the vanilla gorilla before.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Neil, shall we do some scoring?
Why not?
Okay. I'll start this week with spookiness. So there's nothing at all spooky about this.
No.
I'm racking my brains to think of anything spooky about it at all. I guess violence is spooky. You know, I guess
Memento Mori.
Yeah, you know. I guess there's that level of sort of random violence. That's quite spooky, I guess. But you know, there's nothing supernatural about it. I don't know. Like, there's not a curse, even though it's kind of called the curse. It seems to be a cultural phenomenon. So, I mean, it's going to be low. So I'm going to give it a spookiness of 2, just because knowing, like, if you were there and you might be on edge in case someone started singing My Way, or if they did, you'd be like, bated breath to make sure they could hit the notes while you saw people polishing their guns at the back of the karaoke bar or whatever. So I'm going to give it 2-0. How about you?
It's slightly higher because it's the nation that I might be on holiday in the Philippines, unaware of the karaoke etiquette. You know,
that's true.
Etiquette's so important. I go in and I think, My Way's on the song next. Yeah, fair enough. That's a fairly easy one to sing. Gets a bit more fight towards him. You can sort of just mumble your way through it, though, can't you? It's just a bit of crooning, so that should be all right. I hear the locals like a bit of a decent performance. I wouldn't want to let them down. Mind you, what's the worst that could happen? You get gunned to death. That's the worst that could happen. That's you know. Yeah, they'd have to, run out while I'm getting shot at. The thought of that's kind of fairly spooky, so I'm going to give this a 4.
And do you know what, Neil? This is why our much maligned etiquette tips that pervaded the first series were so useful.
Yeah.
Aren't they? People mocked us. We got hate mail, poison pen letters written in blood. Sent
mostly by Benjamin Franklin's ghost, I would imagine.
Mostly by a ghost boy, yeah. If you don't know what that's about,
Cussing his almanac,
then have a listen to Jersey Devils. But I mean, very useful, isn't it? Very useful stuff. Although that never came up. So believability.
No, so in retrospect, not very useful at all.
So believability, Neil, you go first.
Believability. I mean, so unless we're sort of talking about a curse, I mean, this absolutely does happen. And I'll be honest with you, no fucking way am I going to be singing My Way in
God, you're such a Camwoody custard.
Well, I don't have a good voice, Chris, and you'd be mug not to. You know, you're asking for.
Would you play it on your axe?
I might choose to play it on guitar. I don't see.
Even worse.
Well, I wouldn't be strutting around. Yeah, just like real posing and kissing my reflection in the mirror. Yeah, just doing a solo all the way through.
Shove a grenade up your ass.
It's largely whammy bar theatrics. Yeah. See how that goes down.
Upward facing fans.
Yeah. Ridiculous light show. So I'm going to rate this highly because, it absolutely, obviously there's not a curse, but there is something, strange here. It could be down to people not liking the arrogance of the lyrics, just blended in, but there is something here, so I'm going to give it an 8.
8, okie dokie. I mean, it looks like it happens. No one's really sure why, but I think it is from what we've heard, it sounds like it's a song that can just really piss people off. There is no supernatural side to it or curse or whatever. There don't appear to be other songs that provoke the same reaction. It does make you wonder why.
I think if Coldplay were bigger in the Philippines, Yellow might actually get there. But,
Yeah. Or if more people from the Philippines came to English karaoke, there'd probably be a spate of murders. I'm going to give. I'm naturally a skeptic, as you know, Neil. So I'm still wondering about the fidelity of the crime stats in the Philippines. So I think I'm going to give it a 7.
Fair enough.
So Reach. So I'd not heard of this before. It sounds like a fairly new thing. So, since the turn of the millennia. So it's not very old. It seems to, I don't know if it spread or if the other stories were just about karaoke Well, I mean, was the one in China? Was that were they singing My Way, or were they just singing karaoke?
No, that was My Way as well. So it was, okay. I think somebody was slagging off his version of it, and he
and then
defended his family with a meat cleaver. Yeah,
fair enough. We'd all do it if someone was making jokes about.
There's lines you don't cross, Chris, and if you do, you've got to expect the consequences.
Exactly. Blood's thicker than water, mate. Exactly. Expect family. So, I mean...
You knew what I'd do.
You leave him alone. He's trying his best. He got dropped on his head when he was a kid. You rotter.
That's what most of the craze and the Richardson's violence was about. It was just like karaoke wars. Yeah.
Oh, dear old mum.
In a blind basket at night.
And old
he sagged off. You've been talking shit about Reggie's.
Violet Craig was singing My Way.
Performance. You knew what happened.
You'll end up in the Thames. I mean, so I've not heard of it. I don't know. It's a difficult one to give a reach to. I assume, I mean, it seems well known in the Philippines, so I assume it's probably fairly well known in the countries around the Philippines because you know a bit about your neighbours. And there's a lot of people there. So I don't know, I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm going quite low on this one because I feel like it was something I did a bit of research, looked up. It has spread around because it seems to have, I think it's really kind of a catchy name that's kind of made this story go across quite a bit. You know, the My Way, Curse My Way, or the My Way killings, or what have you. It's just inherently a bit mad. It obviously underpins the real.
Yeah, it's got a nice hook, but
social phenomena. But I don't know, like, how massively well it's. I mean, obviously it's all over the internet, but I don't know sort of how well these things are known if you're not looking for it. I don't know how well it's known outside of the Philippines, and I don't know the kind of longevity it's going to have. So obviously it was a spate that happened between.
People keep singing.
Yeah. 2002 and 2019, but maybe they'll calm down about this. Just, breathe deep and accept. No, it just gets worse. Next year it's just it's just 100 or something.
Philippines attempt to invade America.
Yeah. Where's this Frank Sinatra fucker? Find every Sinatra I can and get rid. Anyway, I'll probably go with the same. I think it's probably well known around the area because it's kind of like a weird true crime angle to it, but probably not that well known, and I don't know how long it's going to be hanging around for, but we'll see. So for now, I'll give it a 4.
Okie dokie. And narratives. Los Primeros.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a load that you could build up on this. The thing, as I say, that the My Way killings or the Curse of My Way, it's quite an interesting little vignette in terms of, a little insight into some of the darker parts of the Filipino world and some of the perhaps machismo and culture and people hardworking, going out for a drink and that, but then escalating into violence. So that's quite interesting.
Same all over the world. Same all over the world.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. It wasn't having a crack at.
Oh no! I'm just saying that it's a
global phenomenon.
It's a human thing, isn't it?
Yeah, part of the human condition, absolutely. But specifically over the sort of karaoke side of things, so that's quite interesting and quite a nice bit of the narrative. But I don't think there's a load you could sort of go out to this. I don't think it's going to be turned into a movie anytime soon. I would love to see the episode of the X-Files about the karaoke killings. I'm more interested in that last X-Files movie, I'll be honest with you.
I reckon it could be a good film. I reckon you could make it into
if it was a serial killer doing all the killings.
Yeah, or a secret society.
Because they're unrelated. I mean, maybe like a Paul Thomas Anderson could do like a Magnolia type thing and just.
Well, I was thinking kind of like this, like South.
What drives man to kill?
Like South Korean films or South Korean series.
Oh yeah, or
yeah, do something.
So you could do some sort of backstory for each one. What's driven them to actually murder somebody? It wasn't really about the karaoke.
Or
it was the pent up frustrations, or the twist. The last one, it just was.
Yeah.
Just loves, just hates My Way.
Well, you'd have to do the background of the person singing it and the person doing the shooting. So I think you could do a good series about that. If you're listening, Netflix, which you obviously are.
We'll work up a treatment.
Amazon, with this podcast, if the Amazon algorithm's listening, because this podcast appears on Amazon, then, give us a shout at herb.legends.podcast@gmail.com. So, Neil, sorry, carry on. Narrative premise. What's your score?
Yeah, okay. So, there's a nice little hook and a nice little vignette, but I don't know how much you could build on it. So I'm going to give it a 5.
5. Okie dokie. There's not really a narrative there. It's a difficult one because narrative/premise kind of supposes that it's a made-up story, but this is real. And it's unusual, isn't it? It's an unusual thing. I've not heard of it. I've not heard of this kind of thing before, really, kind of people getting killed because they're singing a certain song at karaoke, which is why I think it could actually be quite a good series or something. Mm. So I guess that like, as a premise, I think it's pretty strong. But it's just a series of linked but basically random violent acts. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 as well, which gives us a total score of 39. So not too bad, half marks. So that's it for this week's Urban Legend. I've given the email address previously. Do get in contact if there's any karaoke songs that people sing which would make you want to kill. We'd be very interested to hear from you.
Just get a bit of a punch up on.
Yeah, it doesn't
have to be a homicidal rage. Just make you mad.
Yeah, or maybe trip them up if they're walking past with a tray full of drinks. Something passive aggressive like that. That's it for this week. I don't really have any proper outros or anything this series, not yet anyway. But I will just say from me to you, goodbye. See you next week.
See you later.